right, 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. It's time for Veterans News. Hank Whittier is in the studio. Good morning,
You're
Hank.
always surprised at that, aren't you, Larry?
I was today, I wasn't sure.
What, did you see me last night?
I saw the empty seat. I didn't know.
The empty seat.
I said, Robert.
Sooner or later, the seat will be empty. Don't rush it.
Oh, no, we don't like that idea. We don't like that idea.
No, he's not going to leave it.
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, good morning. Appreciate you listening to us this morning, as usual on Thursday morning. And we're here again, and great day in Ocala. Going to get some rain later on, some storms moving in. What's the matter? You're looking at me like you have something to tell me.
I just wanted you to know that Captain Doug Smutko is on the phone from Ocala Fire Rescue.
Oh, absolutely. Let's get him, and I know he's got busy things to do, so and he's probably got quite a list, too.
And I hope I said his name correctly. Good morning, Captain. You're on the air with Hank.
Yes, good morning. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning. We're doing good. Where's Brian?
Chief Studoff is in a administrative meeting, so he's got me filling in for him this morning.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you calling us. I know you got things to do, so you got some casualties, I know.
Unfortunately, we do, sir. I'm going to begin with the list. I'm sure everybody's heard about the fatalities that happened out in Arizona.
Oh, absolutely,
with the hotshot teams. So the names from the 19 were Garrett Zapugner, Kevin Wojcik, Clayton Weeded, William Warnicki, Travis Turbyfill, Joe Thurston, Jesse Steed, Anthony Rose, John Pearson, Wade Parker, Scott Norris, Sean Misner, Grant McKee, Eric Marsh, Christopher McKenzie, Dustin DeFord, Travis Carter, Robert Caldwell, Andrew Ashcroft. These are all members of the Prescott Fire Department local hotshot crew that were killed in the Arizona wildfire. Additional fatalities not related to that fire was John Austin, firefighter, age 37, 10 years of service with the City of Quincy Fire Department. That was a medical-related. Christopher Douglas, engineer/paramedic, age 41, 8 years of service, and he was struck by a vehicle while working. Dennis Long, he was with the the Idaho Department of Land Management. That was a medical-related fatality. And Mickey Yates, fire chief, age 47, with 30 years of service from the Greenfield Volunteer Fire Department.
Exceptionally bad couple of weeks.
Yes, it was. That brings this year to date total firefighter fatalities to 66 for the year of 2013.
Okay. Well, listen, you stay safe. Tell your troops to stay safe out there, okay?
We certainly will do our best. Thank you very much, sir.
Right, bye. Take care. Thank you.
Right. Bye-bye.
All righty. Anybody from Sheriff on the line?
I don't know. We have another line that's been called in on, but I wasn't able to speak off the air. Good morning. You're on the air with... Oh, maybe
they were there.
Good morning. You're on the air with Hank.
Hey, guy. Hey, Terry. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how are you?
We're doing great. We're doing good. I know you got some casualties also, right?
Yes, sir, I do.
Go ahead, Terry.
All right, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. The two that we have is Sergeant Lance McLean. Sergeant McLean was with the Hood County Sheriff's Office out of Texas. He was 38 years old, and Sergeant McLean was killed, shot by a suspect in a sexual battery case. He is survived by his wife and several children, his mother and his grandfather. The second one we have is Sergeant John LaRose. Sergeant LaRose with the Pennsylvania State Police out of Pennsylvania. His end of watch was July 1st, 2013. He was 50 years old. He had spent 21 years with that agency, and he was killed during a vehicle accident. He was also a veteran with the United States Air Force, served with them, and he is survived by his wife and 4 children.
That it? That's all you got?
Yes, sir, that's it.
Okay, listen, again, you guys have a ceremony out there on the 23rd, a pinning ceremony, correct, for your veterans?
Yep, we do, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I think one of the guys is coming over next week to talk about it a little bit, but we'll talk some more about it. But I know you at 10 o'clock on the 23rd, you're pinning all the police officers, Sheriff's Department employees that were veterans, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Outstanding. All right.
Yes.
Are you going to get pinned?
You know I am. So I'm very proud of the 3 years I set with the United States Army. So I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate your service then. Certainly do now, too. You tell you guys to be safe, man.
Yes, sir, I will. Thank you, Hank.
All right, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Okay, and you've got a couple of soldiers, I think, also casualties.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
we do. We start out with Army casualties, Department of Defense list a death from in the Qatar, Afghanistan area. First Sergeant Tracy L. Stapley, 44, of Clearfield, Utah. He was assigned to the 308 Medical Logistics Company out of St. George, Utah. Also as Army casualty, Private Errol D. A. Millard, 18, of Birmingham, Alabama. He was in the Fahar, Afghanistan area where he met his demise. He was assigned to the 2nd Engineer Battalion, 36th Engineer Brigade, White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico. Also is an Army casualty, Specialist Hilda I. Clayton, 22, of Augusta, Georgia, died July 2nd in Afghanistan. As non-combat related incident occurred in Afghanistan. The incident is under investigation. She was assigned to the 55th Signal Company Combat Camera, 31st Signal Brigade out of Fort George G. Meade, Maryland. And that one has already been read, sir.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. You got anybody local that you want to mention? Nobody? Okay. Larry.
Sorry.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, we have already gone. 'Twas grace that brought us safe thus far, and grace will lead us
Yeah, I'll get something made. Yeah, well, thanks. Appreciate it. You know, caught me mid-sentence that one.
Sorry about that.
We talk a little office procedures. I've been out of the office so much with so many meetings, I'm not sure I'd reckon how to get there.
Well,
You gotta tell me
we've
how
got to
get
keep
there?
you abreast
Yeah.
of what's going on,
Give me
sir.
the address again so I can find my way
Yeah,
back
well,
there.
once in a while, I have to look myself. It's 1527 Northeast 8th Avenue. If anybody would like to swing by and talk to us out there, we'd gladly have
Drop
you.
off a big check.
Yeah, definitely
There you go.
drop off a
We like
big,
big checks.
big one.
Big checks.
We like those big checks.
Why don't you do our friends over at Ford and St. Leo's?
Where the good Ford and Lincoln automobiles are.
Absolutely.
And their goal is to ensure that they are one of the best Ford and Lincoln dealers in the state of Florida. They offer a great selection of new and used cars. Their financing and lease are available, and there are many specials on the lots. Their parts repair and service of Ford and Lincoln is exceptional. They have no problem on fixing your vehicles. And if you happen to drive another type vehicle and you want to talk to them about a new car or used or at least a used car, you're welcome to stop in and talk to Steve Holosi or Tom or any other staff out there. They'll be glad to talk to you. If you don't want to go to the one in Ocala, you can use the one at the new Ford, at the Village Ford in Bellevue. And they're going to be doing a grand opening very soon in regards to that. We're also sponsored by St. Leo University of Ocala. I keep wanting to say St. Leo of St. Leo, Florida, because I'm an alumni there. But they're an approved for Veterans Educational Training Bill, and they are a Yellow Ribbon program that is sponsored there. Why St. Leo? It's very simple. It's flexible and convenient, and they render personal attention from the start to the finish. They're affordable, and the academia is excellent. There you are, sir.
Yeah, well, thank you. You know, I was out and had a meeting last night. Matter of fact, Russ and I were at the same meeting, and one of the guys come over whose son is having a little difficulty, but kept on talking to me about going back to school for the kid. And I said, well, you know, we'll kick him in the right direction.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll kick him towards St. Leo.
St. Leo would be a
Yeah,
good
it's
one.
good place for him. He needs to kind
And-
of get his act together a little bit. And
They have online availability
yeah, and it's,
too.
you know, listen, the world has changed. The economy's changed. You know, what you used to do and what used to work doesn't work anymore. There's whole new careers opening up, but if you're not ready and you don't do the studying and you're not educated for them, then you're not going to get the job. So, and this is a young guy, so hopefully he'll start listening
Hopefully
to
he'll start
either
paying
Dad or
attention.
I can probably say things that Dad can't say to him. So.
You could probably get away with a lot more. Yes, definitely.
All right, listen, Curly, Sergeant, missed you last week. We were in here talking a few things. Let me before you. I don't know. I had a brain seizure or something. I kept on talking 234 and happy birthday, and I'm going. Wait a minute. I got home and Vivian told me how stupid I was, and I said, "What are you talking about?" And she's, "You kept on saying 234," and I'm going. I did. I didn't even realize I was doing it, but. Well, you know, the country looks younger than it really is. That's what it is.
Okay.
I guess nobody else noticed either.
Well, you know, I was a little surprised. She said, didn't you realize what you were saying? I said, not really. I said, I say that? She said, you said it 2 or 3 times, and I'm surprised no one picked up on it and kind of hauled me over the coals.
Attention.
You know, the 237 is more appropriate.
Well,
but
maybe-
again, we look better. You know, our age doesn't show.
Maybe it was a rerun from 3 years ago.
It might have been. My brain was in rerun, I can tell you that.
Good morning. Actually, you didn't miss me. I did call in to let everybody know.
Well,
that
we
was
miss your
coming
you
in.
miss your presence, man.
Oh,
You know?
okay. Well, anyway, I'm just so proud to be here.
Switch, I think, on there. It should be on the side, a switch.
Side up on there. There you go.
There you go.
Don has that
Right here.
permanently on off.
I see. Oh, is it working now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, good morning, Ocala, Marion County. I was just telling that I did not miss. I just simply couldn't come in due to some prior working arrangements, some prior working honeydew lists that I had to take care of. But anyway, I'm here this morning, and I just need everybody to know that primarily the day is the day for the BFW Post 7193 Ladies Auxiliary meeting, which takes place this afternoon at the Mount Moriah Missionary Baptist Church's annex, and it starts at 4:30 p.m. And we'd ask for all the ladies auxiliary members to please be there, and also bring a member, or either bring somebody who's can be a member. Also, the men's auxiliary will meet there this afternoon at 6 p.m. at the same place at the Mount Moriah Missionary Baptist Church's annex. We're open for membership, so anybody who's available and who's also who who's also eligible, please come by and bring your DD-214 so that we can sign you up to become a member of the men's or ladies auxiliary of the Veterans of Foreign Wars. Also, would like to remind everybody that August the 16th is rapidly approaching, and that the Queen Victory Lodge, along with the Pride of Matter Chapter 138, is having its black and white affair. It's called When You Come Out to Dress to Impress, and it's at the Holiday Inn Hotel Suites at 3600 Southwest 38th Avenue. And the donation is $40, and it'll be dining, music, and entertainment. So it's just one of the things that Queen Victory Lodge and Pride of Matter Chapter No. 138 we do, just to have some money to set aside for scholarship. So come on out and support that activity, and we'll all be the better for it. And also to remind everybody that this coming Saturday is the Veterans Council's quarterly memorial, which takes place at 10 o'clock. We ask that you all come out and support that activity as well, because this is when we acknowledge all of the veterans who have passed to their great reward, and they'll get their names and their branch of service, as well as their you get that final bell ringing, and these are all the veterans who have passed away since the last time we had that quarterly memorial. So come around and support these activities, because they are for the public, and they're also for the ones who have served our country and have served it well. And that's about all I have for the veterans activities for right now, Hank.
Very good.
But think of anything else, I'll be sure to let you know.
Speak up, guys.
Yes,
You know?
and I will.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for being a part of this grand WOCA. The spot is hot, and we're gonna try to give everything they got.
Right out of the 60s, huh? Hey, listen, let me congratulate you and Whitfield Jenkins and a bunch of other good folks. I see that there was a meeting that took place about the homeless camp.
Oh yeah.
And I saw you're one of the folks that didn't speak against the homeless, but spoke up about the placement of that facility again, without really thinking it through. And I appreciate you guys doing that, because for years I've seen that sort of thing go on where, despite maybe good intentions, and that's what I think they're good intentions here, but the placement of that homeless camp where they wanted to put it, I think, was totally inappropriate, particularly where the community wasn't really that consulted about and with. And I'm glad you guys spoke up. I appreciate you doing that.
Well, the primary thing was nobody included us in the selection of and like was said, like previously was stated in that meeting, there's a lot of other places they could have placed that particular camp, and the only reason we didn't want it right there primarily because we put a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of effort into that, and when we don't want that particular kind of it would destroy what we're trying to put out there.
Well, that, and I'll just say it like it is. In the past, when something like that, they wanted to do something, that's what they would do. They'd stick it where they thought they were going to have least resistance, and that's not appropriate. I mean, it needs to be a community. I'm not sure it's the right thing to do to begin with. I have some reservations about that, but. But they need to talk to you, and they need to talk to us, and I know they have a little committee, but there are some folks they need to talk to before they make those decisions. So,
yes.
And I'm glad you spoke up. I didn't know about it, but I saw the appropriate people were there to speak their mind, and I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
And no matter how well intended it was,
Right.
but there are some concerns about it. So,
Exactly.
yeah. You got a phone call?
Yes, sir. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. I just really would like to thank Hank for mentioning that issue about homeless. I think it's a good thing. I've been involved with those type of issues, good Lord, for almost 40 years now here in Ocala. And unfortunately, even with the VA type situations, back in the day when we had to haul people in our private cars to Gainesville, usually they don't get input from people within the community, and I think that's bad. The other thing is, I had one quick concern. I was reading in the paper about because of Seeker Station, the Pentagon basically has decided that they're going to cut that danger pay for many of the troops that are based overseas, and many of them are in really dangerous areas, and that pay is only about $235 a month. And I think it's terrible, but anyway, I think they can look at other areas to cut. But I was going to just mention those two things to Hank and hang up and see what his opinion was about that. Have a good day.
You know, my opinion is I'm always concerned about cutting anything the troops get, and but I think that's going to be the sign of the times. I think you're going to see a lot of it's already happening, both in the size of the military, some of the equipment they have access to, and those sort of things. So I'm real concerned about it. I think there may be other ways to go, and you know, I pretty much made my opinion clear about the homeless thing, but I hope Lenny, and was Lenny there too? Yeah. Well, again, you guys did a good job, and it needs to be a community decision, not a downtown decision, you know. So, listen, we're going to take a break and come back, and we got some folks from the Masonic, a folk from the Masonic Lodge here. A folk.
All right, we'll be right back.
We may not have the kind of winters they have up north, but Florida weather can be still pretty rough on your ride, and Ford Lincoln of Ocala wants to save you money and time during their Restore Your Ride service event. Right now, you can drive into Ford Lincoln of Ocala, receive a free brake inspection, and if it's determined you need brake work, you can receive up to a $50 rebate on any Motorcraft brake service when you use your Ford service credit card. And if it's tires you need, Ford Lincoln of Ocala's Completely Satisfied Service Center can hook you up with up to $120 in rebates on any of the top brands backed by their low price tire guarantee. So stop chasing all over town for this service and that service. Get it all done right, the right way at the right place at Ford Lincoln of Ocala during their Restore Your Ride event. There's also great savings on Motorcraft batteries, wiper blades. You know, my dad used to say, don't wait till it's too late, get it done now. Visit Ford Lincoln of Ocala's Completely Satisfied Service Center, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 6, and Saturdays till 5.
Programming support for Veteran News is brought to you in part by St. Leo University's Ocala Center. Claim your future with a highly respected degree from St. Leo University. This year, St. Leo University proudly celebrates 40 years of educating military students and their families. St. Leo University's Ocala Center offers flexible bachelor's and master's degree programs designed for working adults. Classes are forming now. You can learn more about St. Leo University's convenient degree programs offered in Ocala, Lecanto, and Lake Sumter by visiting stleo.edu/Ocala.
Stay informed on everything going on in the Villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the Villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4 p.m., you pick up your banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404. That's 368-2404. Don't forget, they do vehicle wraps also. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404.
Hi, I'm Russ with Climate Control Mechanical Services, and I want to invite you to tune in every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. to listen for tips and answers to the many questions you may have about your air conditioning and heating for your home or business. The Climate Control Show, every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. right here on WOCA, 1370 a.m. and 96.3 FM, The Source.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Fredericks Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Fredericks Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Fredericks Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'd gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
It is 9:30. Let's return to Veterans News and Hank Whittier. Hank?
Yeah, well, we're still talking about that homeless thing. We were talking about
We're
how
gonna
it all
talk
came-
about it in a
Well,
while.
you know, a lot of folks in Ocala are not supportive, and it's not wanting to. People do want to help people who are homeless, but I want to help folks in my hometown first. And we got a lot of issues, and I mentioned to these guys that went down to the city of Ocala budget hearing the other night, and they've been pretty good to us over the years, but for next year, they had a total of $6,300 available for social service agencies that they doled out.
Not thousand.
$6,300. Well, thank you for what you did, and thank you for your support for all the agencies that got the money, and we appreciate it. We got a little bit. But I'll tell you, I think the needs in Marion County are a lot, and Ocala are a lot greater than that. So that, I'm concerned about that. And then I'm concerned about I don't know what this is going to cost with all this building of a homeless tent city and fences and all these things. What is it going to cost, and where's that money coming from? The other issue is the mayor, and he's been pretty good overall, but he needs to start listening to a lot of voices. We asked him months ago to make sure that he listened to the veterans' voice. Now, I don't know who's on that committee, but I sure hope there's some veterans out there. I suspect there are not.
No, there
Not
are.
a one. Well, that's unfortunate because we asked them to make sure that there were veterans, since we deal with a lot of the home, not just us, but you do, I do, other veterans groups do. That's a part of the community they need to be listening to, and obviously they're not. You're telling me now that you folks didn't even know that they were considering putting it there, other than you were just told it was going there. That's not the way to handle things, and that's not how to communicate with the citizens in Ocala. I don't care if it's east, west, south, north. That's not how to do it. So they need to go back to the drawing board and get more citizens involved, and we'll talk about it. Otherwise, I think, quite frankly, there's going to be a lot of people very upset about it.
Well, they're going to have to get some other issues like downtown Ocala resolved also, because they're putting in a new system in the square that a lot of citizens did not want.
Well, I listen to, as I say, I wish more folks would go to these budget hearings. I go to them occasionally, and I wish I could get to more. But there are a lot of issues and a lot of money being spent on issues and places, and I'm going, well, that's nice, but I'm not sure the priority is there. The tennis courts and skateboard parks and all this other stuff. I'm going, well, it's nice, but there are a lot of needs in this community that aren't being met, and I'm not so sure we shouldn't be doing some of that. Anyway, we have a few other things to talk about besides the homeless camp. Russ is here from the Masonic Lodge. I know, Russ, you have a grandiose title that Don always introduces you as. You're just a friend of ours who comes in. You're with the Masonic Lodge on 36th, and I know you have a title down there. And you're also helping us with our fundraiser out there at Golden Ocala. But,
right.
But
Well,
you have some things coming up yourself.
We do, Hank. As a matter of fact, tomorrow night we're having open house at the Masonic Lodge. They're on 36th Avenue, and the public are invited to come in. We're saying that we're going to reveal all of our secrets. The amazing part of it is we don't have any secrets to reveal.
I don't believe that.
We're about as secret as a Sunday school picnic, I can tell you.
Rumor has it we're going to be watching some video. Is that right? Or?
I got to tell you the truth. Being the secretary, I'm generally the last one that gets to know what's going on. Dr. Bill Ramsey is going to be in charge tomorrow night. He's a member of our lodge. He's also our chaplain. And he's an optometrist here in Ocala. He's well liked at the lodge because we love it when he gets up to speak, because we never know what he's going to say.
Very good.
But as a Masonic lodge, I think Don Harrison in the past here, who is a member also at the lodge, has spoken often of the fact that we have partnered with Veterans Helping Veterans and Golden Ocala for this golf tournament in October. And as you well know from the meeting we had last night, its progress is coming along very well, and it looks like it's, with all the efforts that we've put into it thus far, it looks like it's going to turn out to be a good event. And I hope that the money that we're going to be collecting is going to help Veterans Helping Veterans in this community, because we do have a lot of veterans that need help, and I'm well aware of that. Also at Marion Dunn Lodge on with our open house tomorrow night. By the way, the public will have a free meal there if they get there at 6:30. We are having some help from Pasta Fair in Bellevue. They're putting on a dinner for us here, which we're very appreciative of. And so if the public who is listening to this happens to get around there by 6:30, you'll have a free dinner tomorrow night.
Why don't you give us the address down
That's at 1846 Southeast 36th Avenue. We're right between Jervy Gant Park and Ocala Christian Academy there on 17th Street. So it's free to the public, so feel free to come on out. And also on at August the 3rd, we're having a rib sale. The fellas will be roasting a couple hundred ribs there at the Marion Dunn Lodge. They're going to be $16 for a shank of smoked ribs. And I've learned that if you take them things home and let your wife barbecue them on top of it, you got some fine eating there. I see Curly over here licking his lips already for him.
And he'll probably wear his white shirt again. He'll have a few more stains on there.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll be the speckle shirt in the future.
Sergeant Curley wouldn't pass inspection this morning. Not at all. He's got barbecue stains on his. He tells us they're probably from this morning. So that's August 3rd.
That's August the 3rd, yes, sir. And we have functions going on quite often there.
Mm-hmm.
And as a secretary, if you get an interest in the possibility of one day becoming a Freemason, give me a call down there at 694-2461, and I can help you get started in the kindergarten class.
Well, obviously it can't be that difficult. You got Harrison through the process. So.
We got Harrison and myself, so the heck you can say, you know.
Well, there's three of us.
Three of us here. We got Brother Wood here also.
and tomorrow night the open house starts at 6:30 or 6, or what time does the open house start?
The open house starts at 6:30 and it will finish at 8:30.
Outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you have a formal presentation to make, or people just going to?
Well, yes. Dr. Ramsey, he's going to be the master of ceremonies there, and as I say, I don't know exactly what his agenda will be, but it's always interesting, and we welcome the public.
Well, some of us will try to get down there, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I was just going to say.
I thought you were going to say something. You were talking ribs or something. I don't know.
Well, ribs is always something nice to talk about, but I'm just going to add to the fact that, like he said, there is no secret. The whole idea is everything is predicated with what God. It's all about God and what He does, and it just takes a good man and make him a better man. That's all it's all about. So if anybody's interested in becoming a better man, then come on down.
And it will open some very good doors for you.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Well, they're good. They do, they're another one of the groups that does a lot of things in the community. But, it takes dollars and cents to do that. So, again, they're doing fundraisers and other things. They're working with us, and we appreciate that. They've been extremely helpful to us. But beyond us, I know you do a lot of other things.
That's true. There has been Freemasons in Ocala since 1849.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess it's something that will continue on, and this was only the beginning. Freemasonry goes back to King Solomon's Temple.
Well, I think a great past, great future. I mean, I'm sure you continue to grow. A lot of people when people find out really what you're about and what you do, they're likely to join. They're likely to support your fundraiser. So I've learned a lot since working with you folks on our project, and anything we can do to help you all out, you always have our support. So we'll be down there buying some ribs. I'm not sharing with him, though. But
we don't need to share.
I better hurry. Get there early. Is that what you're talking?
You may end up with the bone, only with the bone.
Could be. I've done that, too.
I'm quite sure of that.
Go ahead and do your
How
about our friends.
Let's talk about the college. Let's talk about St. Leo University of Ocala. It's approved for veterans educational training through the GI Bill. They're a participating member of the Yellow Ribbon Program. Why St. Leo University? They're flexible and convenient. Personal attention from the start to the finish, and they're affordable, and the academic is excellent. Also, Ford Lincoln of Ocala. Their goal is to ensure that one of the best Ford and Lincoln dealers in Florida. They offer a great selection of new and used cars, and their financing, lease, and specials are ultimately great. The parts repair service section has great ability to handle any of your problems that you come across, and they will work with you the best they can. If you don't want to go to the Ocala store, you're welcome to go down to the Village Ford in Bellevue. They will be holding a grand opening before long, and I understand they are holding a balloon for you, sir.
I'm sure they are. Listen, I like balloons.
Yeah, there you go.
A couple of folks asked me to mention some things. Of course, 4209, the VFW Post does their Friday fish fries and other things. You can get other things besides fish fries, so go down there. That's on 36th and Avenue where the big tank is. You can't miss it. Good food, good company, good price, and again, they do a lot of good things with that money that you spend down there. And most of the folks who've gone down there for dinner tell me it's great. I've tried it a few times. It is good. So, and I usually get the chicken. I'm not a big meat eater, but
Well, you never have been a beef
but
person.
I don't mind buying those ribs and handing them out to other people. But anyway, good. That's
Alms for the poor.
that's right. 4209 is on 36th Avenue, and you can't miss it. That tank stands out. If you can't see that, you're in serious trouble. And I tell people all the time, don't tell me about these things. Give me a note or something. So last night someone gave me a note. It's not going to do me a whole lot of good, but well, I can read it. But the Marine Corps League, it says the 20th is our steak night at the detachment, 823 Northwest 26th Street. They want folks to come by and get a steak dinner, but I don't know what the cost is and the exact time. My guess it's in the evening about
It won't be free,
6-ish.
folks.
No freebies.
No freebies there.
But they do put on a good thing, and again, they're trying to raise a few bucks. And if anybody from the Marine Corps is listening, give me a call about the exact time and the cost of those steak dinners.
We'll try to find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. It's the 20th, so. Yeah, so again, we're kind of closing in on stuff. And I mentioned earlier when I was talking to Terry Bavard at the Sheriff's Department, I met with Chris Blair, and the city's already done it. Greg Graham's already pinned his people, but the Sheriff's Department is pinning all the folks out there who have served in the military with different pins to represent the service they served in.
Right.
And that's really a great idea, and we support that. And they're asking veterans and others to be out there on the 23rd at 10 o'clock over at that building. And I think I'm not sure what they call they're sort of their all-purpose building in back of the jail. So that's on.
I'm going to call it. It's right there on the back side of the county jail.
I don't know what street that is, but
I think it's
I think
30.
next week someone's coming in from the Sheriff's Department to talk about that a little bit. It ought to be a good event. And again, it should be well attended. Chris asked specifically for veterans to attend to support the guys and women who served their country, not serving their country now, but serving their country in the past, like Terry did for 3 years. And a lot of them out there have. So we told them we'd definitely be out there to support that. Hopefully that's some of their guys calling in.
Hank, I received a call about 3 months ago from one of the sheriff's officers. He was trying to figure out, was there a pin that was also made for a veteran sheriff's officer that also received the Purple Heart? And I told him, no, not specifically, but you can get anything designed if you just put in for the right person to the right thing. And I told him about this address and also who will design and make a pin like that. And I never heard anything back from him.
They are going to put a cluster onto the existing pin for that level.
Okay,
I believe that's correct.
You got a phone call?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's take the phone call. Then we'll come back to it because I want to talk a little bit more about it.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, guys. Good morning to my
Mark,
fellow
how you
veterans, and especially my fellow Marines. I'm sorry I have a problem with that. I happen to be a second-generation Marine, and actually my brother served in Desert Storm, and my cousin Tom served in Desert Storm as well as myself. I wanted to just make an observation and give thanks to all caring veterans, whether they attend the studio there or listen to the show on the radio and don't express their opinions. But the importance of the Veterans Administration and having people like yourselves in the studio, and specifically Hank Whittier, that the profound importance of the Veterans Administration's ability to help people with medical issues is of more importance now because of the decline of health care being available to the ordinary citizen in general, that who also happens to be a veteran. Because many people had pensions or health care upon retirement no longer do. So as you see that economic trend decline, the importance of the Veterans Administration has inclined, has gone up. So I just thank you all for your contribution to the community and to your country, and I just wanted to emphasize that point. I think that's why there is so much pressure on the VA, and the fact that there are over 900,000 cases on backlog is also a direct linkage there as well. But I just think that's a point that we can't just look at things from a military standpoint and neglect the civilian transition into the system, which puts more pressure on the VA, unfortunately. And then I would ask that as fellow veterans that we also be very suspicious. I know Hank, not putting words in his mouth, is not totally opposed to it, but the privatization, if you look at veteran surveys show that they are more content with the Veterans Administration's care for them, even though there are many complaints in general, than they are from a civilian's comparison to a civilian getting care or a veteran getting care in a civilian capacity, not a civilian capacity allocated with funds from the federal government. That's not what I'm saying. I just think we cannot neglect one and not realize there's an influence of the other. And I thank you again for your service. See y'all.
Thanks, Mark. Mark, I think, well, at least my position, I won't speak for these other guys, is the VA does a lot of good things, but there's some things they don't do well. And I think when you're looking at providing services to anybody, but particularly veterans in this case, is you keep all options on the table. And I got to know that system pretty well because I worked with it for 15 years, 16 years. And there's room for improvement. And, if we want to continue funding it the way we are, and it's not a funding issue necessarily. Funding is part of it. It's the allocation of funding, and then how the folks take that money and work with it. And therein lies some of the problems that we're having. And in some cases, not in all cases, but in some cases, I think privatization would work in some cases, and would work better than the existing model that they have now. And I'm willing to look at it, and I think when it comes to providing service for veterans, if I can provide better services by choosing B over A, then I'm going to choose B over A. And I think that's, it just makes sense to me. If I can do it better and cheaper, and at the end product is better for the veteran or whatever else services we're providing, then I think that behooves me to go ahead and take a look at that and make that decision. So, but I agree with you. There's a lot. I wish more veterans would take advantage of getting into the system. We just had a big health fair a couple of weeks ago. Representative Nugent did a great job, great organization. They got a fair number of veterans out there, but I only understand they only signed up a handful of new veterans.
Only
and that's
like 15.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, I'm glad those 15 signed up, but I talk to folks weekly that are eligible for VA services that do not take advantage of that because of their service, and they're under some false impression that they had to be in combat or they had to get wounded. Right. That's not necessarily true. There are some factors that the VA is going to take a look at, including income, but a lot of folks qualify that don't think they would, and a lot of them really need health care and they're not getting it. So from that point of view, the VA is doing a good job, but it can do better, and we need to take a look at how it can do better. But Mark, I always appreciate you. You enjoy most of the meetings we go to are at the Vets Helping Vets, because we tend to be, the Marines tend to dominate the meetings a little bit. Someone came to a meeting. We had a new person at our meeting last night, and she kind of is a new board member, and she said, well, I didn't realize there were so many Marines at these meetings. That's by design,
It's called control.
It's about a lot of things, but control and design of it's not by accident that happens that way.
It is not.
In any case, guys, what else you got, Robert? You want to talk about court a little bit?
I would like to.
You had some press down at the court yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Brad Rogers showed up.
Brad Rogers came in, and he was kind of amazed at how well we were progressing. He was curious of how many mentors we had, and I explained to him that we now have number 14 as mentors, and we're growing every day. In fact, I've got 2 new names today to look at for mentors. We've added 4 new persons to our Veterans Treatment Court as far as participating, and now we have a total of 10.
Outstanding.
Really well.
Outstanding.
And everything's going extremely well, sir.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, and you and John have done a really great job. The judge has done a great job down there. People, I keep on emphasizing it's not a walk in the park for these veterans, but I think it's worthwhile doing because they're usually people who have made a mistake, and if we can get them to successfully complete the program, they're not ruining their lives, and we can stand back and say, hey, look at that little bit of intervention we provided helped them get their lives squared away, and they're back on the path again. Because sometimes, it just takes one mistake, and I was talking to a young kid the other day, something he did stupid 2 or 3 years ago, and is paying the price for it today. And that's unfortunate because, they've got to make a living. They got to get out there and do the things we want them to do. And sometimes they're willing to do it, but they can't get past, and people are holding against them what they did 2, 3, 4, 10 years ago. Wow. And we're trying to avoid that. Again, not for every situation, because obviously some situations just don't match and the crime is too severe. But most of the stuff is relatively minor that these people do.
I'm going to give you a good example, sir. One of our mentees that we work with on a weekly basis, when he first started, I won't go into who his name is by no means, but you'll know who it is. He had a problem dressing and being where he needed to be, give all of us nightmares at times. And actually, he's now coming in a suit and tie.
There we go.
And and he's taking on the responsibility of a sergeant like he did when he was in the military to the other guys and making them participate
Getting
even
them
more.
Squared away as well.
Yeah.
If someone wants to become a mentor, just kind of go through it briefly, what it's all about, what their qualifications have to be.
To become a member, as a mentor, you need to have a military background and be honorable discharge, and you need to be able to devote a couple of hours per week to be able to work with the veteran and talk to him on the phone, not to him, but her as well. We do have women veterans coming back from other areas now that are combat level. And mine, well, I don't want to get out of line because that's the wrong thing to do. But we're looking for mentors, and it doesn't matter your age. It does not matter your health issues, as long as you can feel comfortable in working with another person who has been in trouble. We'd gladly love to talk to you and get you trained as to become a mentor.
Yeah, and there's some training. You guys provide a little oversight and a little training, and again, as time goes on, the court also does. Believe me, that
trust me.
You're in court. But the judge rules, and he'll certainly tell you what to do and what not to do.
That's a fact. He will.
Judge McCoon is outstanding. As a matter of fact, there's been several articles about him lately. He's just a good guy, and a lot of the programs, both drug court and the mental health court and the veterans court are largely as a result of his initiative. So we really appreciate him and all his people down there. So it's been a good program.
And just for your knowledge, there's been an application submitted for a grant, and we're hoping that would come through, because it would be nice to have something to work with the veterans with.
That's good. Well, I tell people all the time, when you're out and about and you're talking to people in the community, you realize how many folks work awfully hard to try to make this a better place to be. And it's, I see it all the time. We don't always agree about how we're going to get there, but I know folks are out there trying to make it better, and I appreciate that effort. Tell me again about your open house and about your barbecue, Russ.
Once again, I think it's barbecue or the rib sale is going to be August the 3rd. If you're driving by the lodge, you can stop in there, and I got tickets here at the lodge to sell. Excuse me. The open house tomorrow night is 6:30 to 8:30. Something I did want to say here, as you opened up this program, you started off with a roll call of these firemen who had been lost in the fire out in Arizona. And that is a tragic thing to happen. This is something you expect in combat, to lose lose military personnel. But you don't really think about this when you get up and go to work in the morning as a fireman. You're not expecting not to come home. And this is a tragic thing for these families to have gone through. Your heart has to go out to them. To tell you the truth, it almost makes you want to cry for the families that have lost their husbands, sons, and whatever. And the same with the law enforcement. Somehow the picture seems to have changed when you're losing more people in this manner than you are in the supposed war that we're engaged in Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it seems like the picture is backwards somehow.
Well, I think, again, we go about our daily business, and that's why we do this whole casualty thing. It's not, and listen, I really hate doing it. It bothers me every time Vivian pulls off the casualty list, both for, military, law enforcement, and firemen. It really deeply bothers me because we go about our daily business. We don't think about it.
That's true.
We see them going down the boulevard. I have a son in law enforcement, so I think about him all the time. But they're out there serving us. They're serving us every day, and we take for granted that they're doing that. And then you realize that how many we lose every week, every day. We're reading casualties, both from the military and law enforcement and firemen, and it's just firefighters. It is tragic. And all we're asking people to do is, share with us and realize some of the folks we lost, these good folks. But, take a moment in your day to think about all the things you take for granted and those people who make it possible for that to happen. And I think there's a greater appreciation by all of us realizing our lives wouldn't be what they are unless these folks were out there doing their jobs.
If you see one of these guys, tell them thank you.
Yeah, thank you once in a while.
It'd be great to hear this every once in a while.
Every now and then.
Although it's hard to do that when that blue light's behind you.
That blue lightning.
Yeah, I told you about my son pulling me over one day here in Ocala, and I said, I wasn't speeding, I didn't go through a stop sign. Why did you pull me over? He says, because I can't.
And I wanted to tell you.
You knew that wasn't the blue light special at Kmart.
Yeah, well, he and I had some words about that.
Bring a bag of pork chop home.
Anyway, guys, I really appreciate everybody tuning in. It's been great for us as usual. Go out there and support those organizations like the Masonic Lodge, Golden Ocala. I can't say enough great things about that. Well, anytime, and I tell all the other organizations, Russ, like you, and the Masonic Lodge is outstanding. Curly's group, the VFWs, the Purple Hearts. But there are a lot of groups out there doing an awful lot of good things for this community. Realize what they're doing too. But if you got something to announce, I'd rather have you come on personally. I'm going to pick on you a little bit because I do that with everybody. But come on the radio with us, share your information, tell us what you're going to be doing, what events you want us to support, and we'll be glad to get you on and you can get the word out. I think it does help out.
Well, I'd probably have to have a wrestling match with Harrison, the best 2 out of 3 falls, to find out who could come down and be on the radio.
Yeah, well, you'll win.
Russ, you'll win.
You'll win.
You think so?
All right,
okay.
guys.
Thank you, fellas.
Thank you for
Appreciate
listening.
it.
Thank you for your service. And as I tell you every week, God bless America, everybody. Thanks, guys.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala. ABC News Now. I'm Karen.